I sat down to record this episode all about my exact itinerary that I have planned for our Disney World trip in July with our 3 kids. And I ended up talking a lot, and I gave you a lot of detail for what parks we're doing on each day, where we're staying, the lightning lane strategy I'm using, the dining reservations that I have booked. And by the end of the episode, I realized that this was a 2-part episode, kind of by accident. I like to keep my episodes around 25 to 35 minutes, just so they're not too overwhelming, bite-sized pieces that you can listen to very easily on a walk or in your car, whatever it may be. So today you're going to be listening to part 1 of my exact itinerary for Disney World, and next week you'll get part 2. Hello, and welcome to the Laid Back Magic Way podcast. I'm your host, Dana Stanley, creator of Laid Back Magic. As a mom of 3, I know how tough it can be to find time to plan a Disney World trip that doesn't leave you feeling stressed or overwhelmed. That's why I'm here, to help moms like you create Disney vacations that feel even better than they look on paper. Here, we're not chasing perfection, but creating our next favorite memories. So whether you're brand new to Disney or looking to go deeper into the details, this podcast is your go-to for simple tips, mindset shifts, real-life trip recaps, and expert insights to make your trip magical and manageable. New episodes drop every Monday, so be sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment. Okay, let's dive in. This is the episode I actually promised at the end of episode 61, which was all about how I was sketching our summer trip to Disney World. I said I'd keep you posted as I filled in my plans with dining and lightning lanes and a little bit more of our goals of the trip. And now the trip has been officially filled in. So if you want to think of episode 61 as the pencil sketch, this is the painted version, the actual day-by-day plan with all of the things locked in, because we are leaving tomorrow. So these are the plans. So before I did any of this, I did a lot more work up front with our park days penciled in based on crowd calendars. I had my priorities listed in my journal, but nothing was booked. So I'm excited to walk you through kind of the finished itinerary, but more importantly, how each decision got made and why. So I'm going to go over the final park order, a little bit of our lightning lane strategy, including one that's based on sellout data that I think might surprise some people, every dining reservation we booked, and some random little neurotic plans that I have for the week that we're going. If you haven't heard episode 61 yet, I'd go back and listen to that because that's kind of the before picture and this is the after. So a quick recap of some of the non-negotiables from my sketch that I made, because they were the reason behind everything in my itinerary, was pool time, to be somewhere inside from 2 to 4 o'clock, prioritizing sit-down lunches in air conditioning, fireworks as being a number 1 must-do, and the cool kids summer stuff that's happening throughout the summer. What the crowd calendar decided for me was our first park day would be Hollywood Studios, Magic Kingdom the day after, even though the normal instinct would be to start in Magic Kingdom since we're right there on the monorail loop at Grand Floridian. But another reason that Magic Kingdom isn't first is more of a lightning lane strategy, because the farther a park day is from your booking window, the better I know my odds are for getting a hard to get lightning lane ride. And I'm not going to teach about lightning lanes too much here. I will leave a link for my lightning lane toolkit down in the show notes where we go more into this and little things that you can be ninja about to get more lightning lanes, better lightning lanes, and avoid waiting in long lines. Another key point of looking at the whole week at a glance is that on arrival day, we're not going to the park. So it's Hollywood Studios Wednesday, Magic Kingdom Thursday, Animal Kingdom Friday, with a Magic Kingdom evening, Epcot on Saturday, and then we leave on Sunday. So no park when we get there and no park when we fly home. And you may be wondering, Dana, why aren't you doing a rest day? And that's for a few reasons. For number one, it's not that long of a trip to have a rest day in the middle. Number two is we have park hoppers, which just makes it a little bit easier. So that third morning that we're there, we're starting in Animal Kingdom. I'm treating that almost as a rest day because it's going to be a very chill morning. Then we will hang back at the pool or the resort before going back into Magic Kingdom. So just having a hopper makes it a little bit easier. And the third is that I'm not going super hard for really any of the days of the trip. We have a lot to get done, but I've worked in little pockets of breathing room that I don't think we're going to need one long rest day because there's going to be little pockets of rest. So then for each park day, I have my lightning lanes planned out, but as I'm recording this, I have not officially booked them yet. And not to sound cocky, but I typically get the lightning lanes that I go for at least in the ballpark of the time that I want. But I am going to nerd out a little bit. If you're inside Laid Back Magic, you already heard this on our live planning call of my strategy here. Of the big one was that we are pre-booking Big Thunder Mountain. It's been recently renovated. All of us want to ride it. My 5-year-old is tall enough and has not been on it before because it was closed on our last trip. But another ride that has recently reopened and renovated is Rock and Roller Coaster over in Hollywood Studios. It's been rethemed to Muppets. Now, I know from looking at the data that Big Thunder Mountain, even though that reopened first, its lightning lanes have been consistently selling out / hard times to get that aren't like super late in the evening. So I am locking that down the second that my lightning lane window opens. I was strategic about even the time and the day that I want Big Thunder Mountain. I also really wanted a lightning lane for this in case it goes down. I didn't want to risk just waiting standby for it and it going down and have to wait for it to come back up. A lightning lane just protects me of that. Colton and I both really want to ride Rock and Roller Coaster, but this has not been selling out. So I don't want to spend a pre-booking lightning lane slot on it. My plan is to get it the day of my park day. For Wednesday, as soon as I scan into my first lightning lane, I will be grabbing Rock and Roller Coaster. So I have 2 chances of us riding this because it is a priority. First is to ride it first thing in the morning during early entry, and we would be using Ride or Switch for that. So while one of us gets waffles for the kids, the other one will ride and then we'll switch off. Now, I have been doing Disney long enough that I know to not rely on that with 3 kids. Someone could get sick. We could have a late night the night before. We could have a slow morning. The bus could break down. Anything could happen. Rock and Roller Coaster could be down and have a delayed opening. I am not relying on that. If it happens, great, wonderful. But my plan is to scan into my first pre-booked lightning lane first thing in the morning and then book Rock and Roller Coaster. And we can either ride it on the way out or we can ride it after coming back from our break. This is a reminder that while yes, if you have something on your must-do, you should prioritize that as a lightning lane. It doesn't always 100% of the time need to be a pre-booked lightning lane. It's really about booking the things that the data says will be gone and then seeing if everything else could maybe be day of. I was also very strategic about the Big Thunder placement, and I started touching on this before, but it's actually towards the end of our trip where my booking odds are the best. And it's also in the evening in Magic Kingdom where my booking odds are going to be best. I'm going to be going over my actual day-by-day plans in just a second, but I do want to mention while I'm talking about lightning lanes that I will be grabbing a few single passes. Some of our favorite rides are unfortunately single passes that you have to pay individually for, but I do think they're worth it just so that we can avoid the line. I don't have to get to the park at 6:30 in the morning to rope drop it. If it goes down, I'm not worried about it. And yes, all of this is extra money. But if you listen to my trade-off episode, you know that it is 100% worth it for me and my family. Okay, quick break because this is one of those services that just makes a Disney trip so much easier, especially if you're traveling with kids. If you're worried about what you'll need, strollers, cribs, high chairs, toys, all the random gear that somehow multiplies when you have kids, Alexa and Eric from BabyQuip are such a good solution. They're local parents, know Disney resorts inside and out, and deliver everything you need straight to your hotel. Single or double strollers, sleep setups, bath gear, toys, all clean, sanitized, and ready to go when you get there. And then they come pick it all up when you leave, so you don't have to lug anything around through the airport. If you're headed to Disney World with kids and want to travel lighter without sacrificing comfort, use the code VACATIONTOTSMAGIC to save 10% when you book with Alexa and Eric. So let's break it down day by day. So we have day 1, our arrival day, no park. I have yet to book a flight. Don't judge me. So I actually don't know what time we're flying in, but most likely it's going to be a very early flight. We'll probably get in around 9 or 10 a.m. before checking in at the Grand Floridian, which is a bucket list resort for us. It's finally happening. I can't believe it's so close. Very excited about actually sleeping there and not just visiting so many times and saying that I want to stay there. What's even better is this stay is in collaboration with DVC Rental Store. They are the reason that we are able to stay deluxe and stay in bigger rooms sometimes is because we save so much money by renting DVC points instead of booking directly through Disney. If you see us in Disney World, 9 times out of 10, we are staying there using points, renting points to save money. I'm going to be doing a full episode on what that even means. It's the thing that I get asked most about. So stay tuned for a DVC episode. But just know for now that we are very excited. As soon as we get to the Grand Floridian, we are going straight to the pool. Not going to the park. I don't have lunch reservations. No pressure to really do anything except explore the pool. Sometimes, not always, I take an arrival day as our nice dinner reservation. I did this on our last trip, and because I have a 2-year-old, I'm avoiding it this time because it kind of backfired on me last time. Usually it's lovely, and if I were going to recommend it to you and you don't have a 2-year-old, I would say that arrival day is an awesome time to have like a nice early dinner. But our poor baby guy was so tired on our last trip because we had an early flight. He didn't take a solid nap, and he was not having a good time at dinner, which made me not have a good time at dinner. So for this arrival day, I think we're just going to grab something quick. We might eat it by the pool. We might eat it in the room while I unpack and get to bed early. Day 2 is our Hollywood Studios day. So we are going to be taking the bus to Hollywood Studios. I am not getting there super early. I'm going to see what time my kids wake up, how we're all feeling. My goal is to just make it to my first lightning lane of the day when it opens. If we do get there for early entry, wonderful. We're going to try to ride Rock and Roller Coaster. But after scanning into our first lightning lane, which I'm hoping is Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, I'll try to grab a Rock and Roller Coaster as a backup. And from there, one of our must-dos is the new Mickey Mouse Clubhouse dance party and the new animation courtyard. I want to try to do this in the morning because a lot of these things and shows and cool kids summer things, they can end early, like maybe around 4:30. I'm not necessarily planning on going back to Hollywood Studios in the evening. We have things that we really want to get to, but it's not everything. But we have to do Toy Story Mania, and I'm hoping that my son is tall enough for alien swirling saucers. Fingers crossed. If not, he's going to be very, very close, so we'll see. For lunch, I'm planning on going to Docking Bay 7, which is in Galaxy's Edge, which will pair nicely with my single pass for Rise of the Resistance around like 12:30ish. And after that, I have a feeling that my son is going to fall asleep in the stroller and ruin the nap back at the resort plan but maybe not. Kids change so much from month to month, so I'm truly just have no idea, and I'm leaving that open for whatever happens. The only thing that we have absolutely planned is a 5:30 dinner at Citricos back at the Grand Floridian. This is one of my favorite restaurants. We haven't been in a while. I almost booked this for arrival day, but we arrive on a Tuesday and Citricos is not open on Mondays and Tuesdays. Just FYI. Things to make sure you look at. This is also an extended evening hours at Magic Kingdom, which we are eligible for staying at a deluxe resort. I have that kind of, I don't even want to say penciled in. It's more of a dusting of pencil of a note of like, if for some weird, magical, strange reason we were feeling it, we could go into Magic Kingdom because we can pop over so easily. But I have a feeling we're just going to be in bed, to be honest. Day 3 is really all shaped around the fireworks and being up really late. So day 3, we are sleeping in. I'm not going to set an alarm. I'm going to do a really easy breakfast at the resort, maybe mobile order, eat it back at the room. We can do the pool all morning, and my 2-year-old has to nap. So like everything's kind of based around wearing him out at the pool. He'll get a nap back at the room so that he's 100% well rested to stay up late for the fireworks. But what I did for this day is I booked an 11:35 afternoon tea with only one of my daughters who is actually into it. My oldest one didn't want to go. So my littlest and my oldest will get some extra time at the pool with dad while I take Sailor one-on-one to have tea. And I really like that we're doing this like special one-on-one thing kind of inside of that like rest, sleepy morning nap day. It's not costing us any park time at all, and no one's really going to feel like they're missing out on anything. After cruise nap, we will be getting something for dinner. I do not have this booked, but I'm hoping to get a reservation at Walulu Grill before we head over to Magic Kingdom. Because we're staying DVC, the building that we're in is actually very close to the Polynesian Tower. So even if we don't have a reservation, my plan is to just go a little early and see if it happens before heading over to Magic Kingdom for a fireworks dessert party. There is a separate package that you can buy in Magic Kingdom with special viewing of the fireworks, and you get dessert. You can either have dessert before the fireworks, after the fireworks, or sitting down during the fireworks, which is a little bit of a further away viewing area than the other two, but you get to sit the whole time. I'm going to leave a link in the show notes all about dessert parties, if it's worth it, my review of it. We prefer the pre-party, meaning we get dessert before the fireworks. And then when they're done, we can peace on out of there, probably walk just back to Magic Kingdom. We will also be watching the Starlight Parade in Magic Kingdom before the fireworks. And I have a little bit of a plan for this that I'm not going to cover too much just because I need to do it and see if it works, if I like it, with the dessert party pairing and checking in and all of the viewing options. So I will report back in another episode after our trip of how this all actually went. One of the reasons why I might be either walking back to Grand Floridian or taking a boat back to Grand Floridian is I have a little bit of an irrational fear. And this won't surprise you if you've been listening to the podcast for a while and you've listened to my Skyliner episode. But I have an irrational fear of the monorail stopping with us on it. And it seems like it stops more when it's very, very hot, which is exactly what July in the afternoon is. So for any day that we're popping in and out of Magic Kingdom, I think my plan is in the mornings to take the monorail or the late evenings to take the monorail. But if it's the middle of the afternoon, I'm probably going to be taking the boat. My husband does not agree with me at all with this. But again, irrational fear, that's my plan. I'm just letting you know. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Laid Back Magic Way podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode and it was helpful for you, it would mean the world to me if you'd write a quick review. Your reviews help more moms like you find the show, and I read every single one of them. Seriously, thank you in advance. You can find me on Instagram at Somewhere Worthwhile, and I'd love to hear from you there. DM me if you have any questions about this episode or what you'd like to see in future ones. Until then, keep planning for your next favorite memory, and I'll see you next time.